Am I the asshole for not letting my nabour and her kids swim in our pool? I 29F live with my husband 30M in a nice house in a smaller town. We have double income, no kids. Our house has a pool in the yard. It's really nice since it does get quite hot during summers. Our nabour 32F is a single mom of 3. Her house doesn't have a pool and it's a lot smaller than ours. Both me and my husband babysit for her sometimes, which is why I know this. Yesterday morning, when my husband had already left for work and I had started to work from home, I heard noises from our yard. Our houses in here aren't right next to each other, so it's quite easy to tell that the noise is from your yard. So I went to check, and our nabour and her kids were swimming in our pool. I was confused since she has never came to our house uninvited. But I went to talk to her and asked what was going on. She explained that she had a day off from work, so she wanted to do something nice with her kids, so she decided to borrow our pool since we don't have much use for it since we are child-free. I asked her nicely to leave since they had come uninvited and were there without our permission. She thought I was joking, but when I asked again she got defensive and demanded that I should give her valid reasoning why she and her kids can't be there. I didn't give her reasonings, but I told her that I would call the police if she didn't leave and told her not to show up uninvited again. She did leave but kept cursing at me and even accused me of classism. I think it's important to mention that because we live in an area where the houses aren't right next to each other and you can't see inside our house even for the furthest point of our yard. So me and my husband tend to hang out just in underwear or sometimes naked. So I was shocked to find her there just using our pool so comfortably. My nabour has been mad to me since, and she has bad-mouthed me to others in the neighborhood. I told my husband and my parents about this. My husband and my dad think what I did was reasonable, but my mom told me that I should have been more understanding to her since she works hard and is a single mom of 3. But I feel like she didn't care about our privacy at all. So am I the asshole? Edit. Thank you for all the advice. We have purchased locks and cameras for our pool. We already have a fence. Also, we live in the US. But we were both born in China and have later moved here. We met in university here in the US. I'm also sorry for my spelling errors. Also, we were babysitting for free. But we're not going to continue doing so. Not the asshole. First, this is your pool and you get to decide who can use it. Much like you can decide who can just walk into your house. Second, there are liability issues if anyone gets hurt or worse. Third, when people start demanding your things, they have lost the moral high ground. This neighbor and her kids will just have to find another place to swim. Until she sincerely apologizes and agrees to abide by your terms. Not the asshole. Get cameras for outside. Not the asshole. It's your pool and your property. But, for liability reasons, get a fence with a locked gate up ASAP. If one of them gets hurt on your property, they will sue you. Not the asshole. 1. She's crazy. 2. If anything happened to her or her kids, you would be liable. 3. She's crazy. Not the asshole. You can't just use people's things without permission. Not the asshole. It takes a lot of nerve to walk over to your neighbor's house and just go in their pool. At least have the decency to knock on the door and ask, or better yet, call you up and ask. Your yard is not the public pool. You don't owe a reason. She was rude and entitled and ballsy. Just because you watch her kids and don't have kids yourself doesn't make your pool open for all to use. Do have a fence around it. If so, maybe invest in a lock. In my country you have to have a fence with a pool to avoid this situation where someone can drown. Especially children. Not the asshole. The entitlement of your neighbor. Doesn't matter if you have kids or not, it's your pool. In your backyard. You decide who can go in. End of story. And for your neighbor to just jump in. It's trespassing. And can make you liable if there was any incident. If it happens again, call the police straight away. Borrowing something without permission is called theft. What's next? Is she going to invite herself and her children into your home if no one is there? Not the asshole. I suggest putting up a tall fence with a lock on it. If she did it once, she'll do it again. And if someone gets hurt, it'll be your problem. In the US, most places require a fence at least 4 feet tall with a lock around pools to minimize the risk to children. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You said your husband had already left for work. Did she maybe think you were at work as well? And nobody would notice if she used the pool? If so, are you certain this was the first time? She might have done this before. Maybe install cameras on your property. And inform her of this. I'm sure she won't do that again. Then. Not the asshole, and perhaps it's time to build a fence around the pool. Not the asshole. She is. And if you did not nip this in the bud, next year, the kids will be there without adult supervision. Not the asshole. The pool is your property, and she should have asked for permission before using it. Not the asshole. The audacity. I wouldn't babysit for her ever again. Not the asshole. Just because she is a single mother doesn't mean she instantly gets what she wants. She's an adult. I think you need to put up a camera pointed at the pool to catch if they trespass again. Also maybe consider putting up a very nice private fence. Which from where I'm from are 6 feet tall. Also she doesn't need a reason for you asking her to leave. It's your property and they decided to trespass. Some single moms think they should get to use everything of everybody's. She is one of those single moms. Please update if anything else occurs. Not the asshole. It's your property and your pool. They're trespassing if they use it without asking permission. Also there's liability issues. What if one of them has an accident while using your pool? You may end up being liable if something goes wrong even if they used it without permission. If you don't have one already, put up a fence with a lockable gate to protect yourself and make sure her kids don't wander over by themselves and have an unfortunate accident. Single mom is not a coupon code. Not the asshole. If an accident happens with one of the kids while they're swimming in your pool, with or without your permission, you're going to be held liable legally. In this case, not the asshole. But consider installing cameras and have some form of written record, text or email, where you lay out to your neighbor that she trespassed into your pool without your permission. And she should not do this in the future. Not the asshole. Like, what if you had just done a heavy amount of chemical addition to clean the pool and it wasn't safe to swim? Your neighbor is a huge liability. If a kid died in your pool, it doesn't matter that you didn't give permission. She can still sue you. Get locks on your gates and no trespassing signs. Cameras as well, if you can. If she does it again, call the police and have a record of it. Guaranteed if she's entitled enough to use your property without permission. She is the type who would also sue if someone were injured. Not the asshole.